Welcome to an inspiring journey filled with ambition, transformation, and the power of philanthropy. Listen closely to this captivating story that won't disappoint. Remember to subscribe and hit the like button to support more amazing content. Your interest is our priority, and we can't wait to share this incredible tale with you. Discover the incredible journey of John D. Rockefeller, a tale of ambition, transformation, and a philanthropic legacy that echoes through time. Step into his world and experience the power of his inspiring transformation. From rags to riches, from captain of industry to a visionary philanthropist, this is a story that will captivate your heart and ignite your own spirit of giving. Get ready for an extraordinary adventure that will leave you in awe and inspire you to create a lasting impact on the world. Chapter 1: A Boy's Ambition. As I look back on my life, I can still vividly recall the days of my youth, growing up on the streets of Cleveland, Ohio. I was just a boy with a heart full of ambition and a mind brimming with dreams. Life in those days was far from easy, but there was something about the bustling city streets that filled me with a sense of wonder and possibility. From an early age, I watched the merchants and businessmen as they went about their daily activities. Their lives seemed so different from mine, and I couldn't help but wonder what it would be like to walk in their shoes. Each passing day, my desire to be a part of that world grew stronger, and I knew that I wanted to make something of myself, to leave a mark on this world that would be remembered. My family was not well off, and we struggled to make ends meet. But instead of letting our circumstances define me, I saw them as a driving force to push me forward. I knew that my ambitions were my ticket to a better life, and I was determined not to let them go to waste. I began to think of ways I could make a difference, even as a young boy. I started small, selling candy and other treats to the neighborhood kids. It might not have been much, but I felt a sense of pride in being able to contribute to my family's income. Little did I know that these early entrepreneurial sparks would ignite a fire within me that would burn for a lifetime. As I grew older, my ventures became more ambitious. I tried my hand at raising turkeys, hoping to sell them for a profit. It was a challenging endeavor, and I faced many obstacles along the way, but I refused to give up. Each setback only fueled my determination to succeed. As I ventured further into the world of business, I realized that there was so much more to learn. I soaked up knowledge like a sponge, absorbing every bit of information that came my way. I sought advice from experienced businessmen, and I observed the strategies they employed to grow their enterprises. It wasn't long before my hard work and perseverance began to pay off. My ventures started to thrive, and I felt a sense of pride in my accomplishments. I knew that I was on the right path, and I refused to let anything stand in my way. Looking back, I can see that those early days were the foundation upon which I would build my empire. They taught me valuable lessons about the value of hard work, the importance of never losing sight of one's goals, and the resilience needed to weather life's storms. But most importantly, those days instilled in me the belief that anything was possible. I saw myself not as a boy from Cleveland, but as a man with the power to shape his own destiny. And with that belief firmly ingrained in my heart, I set my sights on the future, ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead. Little did I know that my journey was just beginning, and that the boy with a dream and a burning ambition would go on to become one of the most influential figures of his time. The road ahead was long and winding, but I was ready to face whatever came my way. And so, with a heart full of hope and a mind filled with dreams, I stepped forward into the world, eager to carve my own path and leave a lasting legacy. Chapter 2: Entrepreneurial Sparks. As I ventured further into the world of business, the sparks of entrepreneurship within me grew brighter and more pronounced. My early successes in selling candy and raising turkeys had given me a taste of what was possible, and I hungered for more. I was no longer content with small-scale ventures. I wanted to make a significant impact on the world of commerce. With each new endeavor, I learned valuable lessons that would shape my approach to business for years to come. I understood the importance of timing and seizing opportunities when they presented themselves. The world was changing rapidly, and I was determined to keep up with the pace of progress. I began to explore different industries, seeking out areas where I believed I could make a difference. Oil was one such area that caught my attention. It was a burgeoning industry with vast potential, and I saw an opportunity to capitalize on its growing demand. In 1863, I joined forces with Samuel Andrews, a skilled and knowledgeable chemist. Together, we established an oil refining company, which we named Andrews and Rockefeller. Little did we know that this venture would be the catalyst for the transformation of my life and the American business landscape. The early days of our oil business were challenging, to say the least. We faced fierce competition, and the odds seemed stacked against us. But I was not one to be deterred by obstacles. I believed in the vision we had for our company, and I knew that with determination and perseverance, we could overcome any challenge. My instincts served me well during this time. I quickly realized that refining oil was not just a matter of business but also a science. I immersed myself in the technical aspects of the industry, learning everything I could about the refining process. This knowledge proved invaluable and allowed us to refine oil more efficiently than our competitors. As our expertise grew, so did our reputation. Our oil products were of higher quality and more consistent than others in the market. Customers began to take notice, and demand for our refined oil soared. It was a pivotal moment for our company, and I knew that we were onto something big. But success also brought its share of challenges. The oil industry was still in its infancy, and the lack of infrastructure posed significant logistical issues. Transportation of oil was costly and cumbersome, eating into our profits. Once again, I saw an opportunity to innovate. I decided to invest in pipelines and other means of transportation, which not only reduced costs but also increased efficiency. Our ability to transport oil quickly and cost-effectively allowed us to reach new markets and solidify our position as a leading player in the industry. However, with success came scrutiny. Some of our competitors accused us of using ruthless tactics to dominate the market. They criticized our business practices and called for government intervention. It was a challenging period, but I knew that our success was a result of hard work, innovation, and the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Despite the criticism, I remained steadfast in my commitment to growing our business. I saw our efforts not as a means of crushing competition but as a way to create a stable and efficient industry that would benefit everyone involved, from producers to consumers. In the midst of the turmoil, my commitment to philanthropy also grew stronger. I believed that with great success came great responsibility. I started to set aside a portion of my earnings for charitable causes, supporting initiatives that aim to improve the lives of those less fortunate. Chapter 2, Entrepreneurial Sparks, was a time of immense growth and learning for me. It was a period when I honed my skills as a businessman and as a leader. The sparks of ambition and innovation that had ignited in me during my childhood had now grown into a blazing fire that would guide me on my transformative journey through the world of business and philanthropy. Chapter 3, Oil Strikes Black Gold. The year was 1865, and our oil refining company, now known as Rockefeller and Andrews, was making steady progress. But little did we know that the best was yet to come. The oil industry was about to experience a seismic shift, one that would change the course of my life and the world of business forever. It was during this time that a momentous discovery was made in Pennsylvania. A well drilled by Edwin Drake struck oil, ushering in the era of the oil boom. The ground beneath the Earth's surface held a treasure trove of black gold, waiting to be tapped into. This was the turning point that would propel the oil industry to new heights, and I was determined to ride the wave of this opportunity. With the oil boom in full swing, the demand for refined oil skyrocketed. I knew that we had to capitalize on this unprecedented opportunity, and so, I made a bold decision. In 1870, I restructured our business and established the Standard Oil Company. This move allowed us to consolidate various oil-producing and refining firms under one umbrella, streamlining operations and increasing efficiency. Standard Oil became the driving force of the oil industry, a behemoth that would dominate the market and change the landscape of business forever. Our operations spanned across the country, from Pennsylvania to Ohio and beyond. We were not just a business, we were a force of nature, reshaping the oil industry in our image. With each passing day, our reach and influence expanded. Standard Oil controlled almost 90% of the refining capacity in the United States, making us the undisputed leader in the industry. The concept of a monopoly raised eyebrows, and critics questioned our business practices. But I saw it differently. To me, a monopoly wasn't just about crushing competition. It was about creating stability and consistency in an industry that was still finding its footing. By controlling the refining process from start to finish, we could ensure that the oil produced was of the highest quality, benefiting both producers and consumers. Standard Oil's efficient operations led to cost savings, which were then passed on to consumers in the form of lower prices. Our products became more affordable, making oil accessible to millions of people across the nation. I believe that our success was not just for our benefit, but for the betterment of society as a whole. However, with success came increased scrutiny and challenges from competitors and regulators. Accusations of unfair business practices were hurled at us, and legal battles ensued. But we stood firm in our belief that our actions were not only legal but also beneficial to the American people. Amidst the chaos, I remained dedicated to my principles and philanthropic efforts. I had always believed that true wealth wasn't just about money but about making a positive impact on society. As Standard Oil's profits soared, so did my commitment to giving back. In 1884, I established the University of Chicago, a testament to my belief in the power of education. I saw it as an institution that would nurture young minds, fostering innovation and progress for generations to come. This was just the beginning of my philanthropic endeavors. But life is a series of highs and lows, and my journey was no exception. In 1888, tragedy struck when my wife, Laura, passed away. It was a devastating loss, and I found solace in my work in philanthropy. Giving back to society became a way for me to honor her memory and continue the legacy of kindness and compassion that she had instilled in me. As the 19th century came to a close, Standard Oil continued to thrive, and my reputation as a powerful and influential businessman grew. But there was more to me than the public saw. I was a man driven not just by profit but also by a desire to leave a lasting impact on the world, to be remembered for more than just my business acumen. Chapter 3, Oil Strikes Black Gold, was a time of transformation, a period when the oil industry was forever changed by the discovery of black gold. Standard Oil emerged as a dominant force, and my commitment to philanthropy deepened. The road ahead was not without its challenges, but I was determined to navigate it with the same tenacity and vision that had brought me this far. Chapter 4, The Empire Expands. With the discovery of black gold and the success of Standard Oil, the oil industry had become my domain. The empire I had built was expanding rapidly, reaching far beyond the borders of the United States. I was no longer just a businessman, I had become a titan, wielding unparalleled influence in the world of commerce. The demand for oil was insatiable, and Standard Oil was at the forefront of meeting it. We expanded our operations to new territories, setting up refineries and distribution networks across the globe. Our reach extended to Europe, Asia, and beyond, making us a truly international force to be reckoned with. As the empire expanded, so did my responsibilities. I had to balance the demands of overseeing a vast business empire while staying true to the values that had guided me from the beginning. It was not an easy task, but I was determined to lead by example, showing that business success and ethical practices could go hand in hand. One of the most significant challenges I faced was maintaining the efficiency of our operations on such a large scale. Standard Oil had become a complex network of companies, each with its own set of challenges and opportunities. I knew that to keep the empire running smoothly, we needed a unified approach. In 1892, I restructured Standard Oil once again, forming the Standard Oil Trust. This arrangement allowed us to centralize decision-making while still maintaining the individual identities of our subsidiary companies. It was a masterstroke that ensured our continued dominance in the industry. But as the empire grew, so did the backlash. The immense power of Standard Oil drew criticism from competitors, journalists, and even politicians. Accusations of unfair business practices and anti-competitive behavior were hurled at us, and I found myself facing numerous legal battles and public scrutiny. Yet, I remained steadfast in my belief that what we were doing was ultimately for the greater good. Standard Oil's efficiencies allowed us to produce high-quality oil at affordable prices, benefiting consumers across the world. I saw our success as a testament to the power of innovation and hard work, not just a result of questionable tactics. Despite the challenges, I refused to let the criticisms dampen my spirit. If anything, they only fueled my determination to create an empire that would stand the test of time. I continued to invest in research and development, seeking new ways to improve our operations and the quality of our products. As the 20th century dawned, Standard Oil had become synonymous with the oil industry. We were a global powerhouse, and the world was taking notice. But as my business empire expanded, so did my commitment to philanthropy. I had always believed that with great wealth came great responsibility. I saw it as my duty to give back to society and support initiatives that would improve the lives of others. In 1901, I established the Rockefeller Institute for Medical Research, which later became the Rockefeller University. This was a significant step in my philanthropic journey, and it laid the foundation for my future endeavors. The empire's expansion brought with it new challenges and opportunities. The changing dynamics of the industry necessitated constant adaptation, and I knew that I had to surround myself with a team of talented and forward-thinking individuals. I sought out like-minded individuals who shared my vision for the future of Standard Oil and who could help steer the empire through the uncertain waters ahead. Despite the success and accolades, I remained humble. I saw myself not just as a wealthy businessman but as a custodian of the wealth I had accumulated. I believed that my success was not solely my own but the result of the collective efforts of those who had supported me along the way. Chapter 4, The Empire Expands, was a time of unparalleled growth and challenges. The expansion of Standard Oil took us to new heights, and my commitment to philanthropy deepened. As the 20th century progressed, I knew that the journey was far from over. The empire I had built was not just about business, but about leaving a lasting legacy that would impact the world for generations to come. Chapter 5, The Captain of Industry. As the 20th century unfolded, I found myself firmly established as a captain of industry. Standard Oil had grown into an empire that spanned the globe, and my influence in the world of business was unparalleled. But with great power came great responsibility, and I was determined to wield my influence wisely and with a sense of purpose. The term captain of industry had been used to describe industrialists who had achieved great success and wielded significant power. But for me, being a captain of industry meant more than just amassing wealth and influence. It meant being a leader who sought to create positive change, not just in the business world but in society as a whole. One of the cornerstones of my approach as a captain of industry was my commitment to philanthropy. I believed that my wealth was a tool to be used for the betterment of others. I saw it as my duty to give back to society and support causes that would have a lasting impact on people's lives. In addition to the Rockefeller Institute for Medical Research, I established the General Education Board in 1902. This foundation aimed to improve education in the United States, focusing on providing better educational opportunities to disadvantaged communities. I believed that education was the key to unlocking potential and creating a more equitable society. But my philanthropic efforts did not stop there. In 1909, I founded the Rockefeller Sanitary Commission, which later became the International Health Commission. This organization focused on improving public health and fighting diseases such as hookworm and yellow fever. It was a testament to my belief that good health was the foundation for a prosperous and thriving society. My commitment to philanthropy was not just about writing checks, it was about being actively involved and using my influence to affect change. I worked closely with the institutions I had founded, providing guidance and support to ensure that they were making a meaningful impact. But being a captain of industry also meant navigating the turbulent waters of public opinion. Standard Oil's dominance in the industry had drawn criticism and accusations of unfair business practices. I knew that I had to address these concerns and show the public that our success was not at the expense of others. In 1911, after years of legal battles and public scrutiny, Standard Oil was ordered to dissolve under the Sherman Antitrust Act. The company was broken up into 34 smaller companies, marking the end of an era. While the dissolution was a blow to my empire, I accepted it with grace and used it as an opportunity to re-evaluate and reinvent. As the empire fragmented, I focused my efforts on philanthropy and investing in other ventures. I diversified my interests, investing in various industries and continuing to support causes close to my heart. I believed that adaptability was crucial in business and in life, and I was determined to stay ahead of the curve. Being a captain of industry also meant being a leader in my community and setting an example for others to follow. I encouraged fellow businessmen to adopt ethical practices and to give back to society. I believed that success was not just about personal gain but about creating a positive impact on the world. As I entered the later years of my life, my commitment to philanthropy only deepened. I established the Rockefeller Foundation in 1913, with a mission to promote the well-being of humanity around the world. The foundation focused on a wide range of issues, from public health to agriculture, and it became a driving force for positive change on a global scale. Being a captain of industry was a tremendous responsibility, one that I did not take lightly. It was about using my influence and wealth to create a better world, to leave a lasting legacy that would continue to make a difference long after I was gone. As the 20th century progressed, I knew that my journey was far from over. I remained committed to my principles and to the belief that the true measure of success was not just in what one achieved for oneself, but in what one contributed to the greater good. Chapter 5: The Captain of Industry was a time of reflection and reinvention. As the empire of Standard Oil dissolved, I channeled my efforts into philanthropy and continued to lead by example, showing the world that being a captain of industry was not just about business success, but about using one's influence for the betterment of humanity. My commitment to giving back and creating a positive impact on the world remained unwavering as I continued to shape my transformative journey through business and philanthropy. Chapter 6: The Power Play. As the 20th century progressed, I found myself engaged in a power play that would test my resolve and resilience like never before. The dissolution of Standard Oil in 1911 had dealt a significant blow to my empire, but I refused to be defeated. I saw it as an opportunity to reinvent myself and make an even greater impact on the world. With Standard Oil broken up into smaller companies, I focused my efforts on my philanthropic endeavors. The Rockefeller Foundation became the centerpiece of my mission to improve the lives of people around the globe. I believed that with the power of wealth came a responsibility to use it for the greater good, and I was determined to do just that. The Foundation's work spanned a wide range of fields, from public health to agriculture, and we sought to tackle some of the world's most pressing issues. Through partnerships with governments and organizations, we funded research and initiatives that had a lasting impact on society. But even in the realm of philanthropy, power plays and challenges awaited. Some critics questioned the influence that philanthropists like myself held over public policy and social initiatives. They argued that private foundations could exert undue influence and shape public agendas to suit their interests. While I understood the concerns, I remained committed to transparency and collaboration. I saw the Foundation's work as a partnership with other organizations and governments, pooling resources and expertise to create meaningful change. I believed that through open dialogue and cooperation, we could work together to address the world's most pressing challenges. As the world continued to change, I realized that my role as a captain of industry was shifting. While my business empire had diminished, my influence as a philanthropist was growing. I saw it as an opportunity to use my power and resources to drive change on a global scale, to address issues that went beyond business and commerce. One of the Foundation's key initiatives was its work on public health. We focused on eradicating diseases such as hookworm, malaria, and yellow fever, which had a devastating impact on communities around the world. Through research, education, and intervention, we made significant strides in improving public health and saving countless lives. But with great power came great responsibility, and I was aware of the need to remain vigilant and accountable. I believed that my wealth was not just a privilege but a tool to be used for good. I remained committed to ethical practices and to addressing any criticisms or concerns that arose. The power play extended beyond philanthropy into the realm of public policy. My influence as a philanthropist and businessman sometimes led to tensions with politicians and government officials. Some saw me as a behind-the-scenes puppeteer, pulling strings from the shadows. But I never sought to exert undue influence or manipulate others. My intentions were always driven by a desire to create positive change and improve the lives of people. I saw myself as a collaborator, working with various stakeholders to find solutions to complex problems. As the years went by, my philanthropic efforts continued to make a profound impact. The Rockefeller Foundation's work was recognized on a global scale, and its initiatives were replicated and adapted by other organizations and governments. I was heartened to see the positive ripple effect of our efforts. Through it all, I remained true to my principles and to the belief that wealth and power carried a responsibility to serve others. I saw myself not just as a wealthy businessman or philanthropist, but as a steward of the resources I had accumulated. Chapter 6: The Power Play was a time of challenges and triumphs. It was a period when I navigated the complexities of wielding power and influence, both as a philanthropist and as a former captain of industry. I understood that with power came the potential for impact, and I was determined to use it for the betterment of humanity. My transformative journey continued, shaped by a sense of purpose and a commitment to creating lasting change in the world. Chapter 7: A Legacy Carved in Stone. As I approached the later years of my life, I couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought me to this point. The challenges, triumphs, and lessons I had experienced had shaped me into the person I was: a philanthropist, a visionary, and a man with a burning desire to leave a lasting impact on the world. The world had changed significantly since my early days as a boy in Cleveland. The oil industry had evolved, and Standard Oil was no more. But my commitment to philanthropy had only deepened, and it was through this avenue that I sought to carve my legacy in stone. The Rockefeller Foundation had become the embodiment of my philanthropic vision. Through the Foundation's initiatives, we continued to tackle some of the world's most pressing issues, from public health to agricultural development. I believe that by investing in research and innovation, we could find solutions to complex problems and create lasting change. One of the Foundation's most significant initiatives was its work in public health. We focused on eradicating diseases, improving maternal and child health, and advancing scientific research. Through partnerships with governments and organizations, we were able to reach communities in need and make a tangible difference in people's lives. The Foundation's work extended beyond the borders of the United States, reaching far-flung corners of the globe. I believed that philanthropy had no boundaries and that it was our duty to support communities wherever help was needed. From Africa to Asia, we funded initiatives that aimed to improve the quality of life for people in the most vulnerable regions. But I knew that my legacy couldn't rest solely on the work of the Foundation. I wanted to make a lasting impact on the city that had shaped me, the city of Cleveland. In 1920, I established the Cleveland Foundation, the first community foundation in the United States. This was a way for me to give back to the place that had given me so much. The Cleveland Foundation focused on improving the quality of life in the city through various initiatives, including education, arts and culture, and community development. It was a testament to my belief in the power of community and the importance of supporting local efforts to effect change. As I reflected on my legacy, I knew that it wasn't just about the institutions I had founded or the wealth I had amassed. It was about the principles and values I had instilled in those around me. I had always believed in leading by example, and I hoped that my commitment to philanthropy would inspire others to do the same. Beyond philanthropy, I had also sought to influence public policy and social issues. I believed that business leaders had a responsibility to use their voice and resources to advocate for positive change. I supported various causes, from women's suffrage to racial equality, in the hope of creating a more just and equitable society. But as time went on, I knew that I couldn't control the narrative of my legacy entirely. My actions, both in business and philanthropy, had drawn both admiration and criticism. I had been a polarizing figure, seen by some as a benevolent benefactor and by others as an unscrupulous businessman. But I had always remained true to my principles, guided by a desire to make a positive impact on the world. I saw my wealth not as a privilege to be hoarded but as a tool to be used for the greater good. I believed that true success was not measured in dollars but in the positive change one could create in the lives of others. As I continued to shape my legacy, I knew that my journey was far from over. The power of philanthropy and the potential for positive change were boundless. I hoped that my efforts would serve as an inspiration for future generations of philanthropists and leaders, encouraging them to use their influence for the betterment of humanity. Chapter 7, A Legacy Carved in Stone, was a time of reflection and consolidation. It was a period when I sought to leave a lasting impact on the world through my philanthropic efforts. My commitment to creating positive change in the lives of others remained unwavering as I continued to carve my legacy in stone, hoping that it would stand as a testament to the power of giving back and the importance of using one's influence for the greater good. Chapter 8, A Life Well Lived. As the final chapter of my life unfolds, I find myself looking back on the journey that brought me to this point, a journey of ambition, transformation, and a burning desire to make a difference in the world. It has been a life well lived, filled with highs and lows, challenges and triumphs, but above all, a life driven by a sense of purpose and a commitment to leaving a positive impact on humanity. Throughout my life, I have seen the world change in ways I could never have imagined. The oil industry, which was once a fledgling endeavor, has become a vital force driving the global economy. The empire of Standard Oil may have dissolved, but its legacy lives on, as does my commitment to using wealth and influence to create positive change. My philanthropic efforts have been at the heart of my transformative journey. Through the Rockefeller Foundation and the Cleveland Foundation, I have sought to address some of the most pressing issues of our time. From improving public health to supporting education and community development, I have strived to make a lasting impact on the lives of people around the world. But my legacy is not just about the institutions I have founded, it is about the principles I have lived by. I have always believed that true success lies in using one's wealth and influence for the greater good. It is a belief that has guided me throughout my life and has driven me to be a captain of industry and a champion of philanthropy. As I approach the twilight of my years, I am reminded of the importance of cherishing every moment and every opportunity to give back. Life is fleeting, and our time on this earth is limited. What matters most is not the wealth we accumulate, but the impact we leave on the lives of others. I have been blessed with a loving family and friends who have supported me throughout my journey. They have been my pillars of strength and my greatest source of joy. Together, we have weathered the storms and celebrated the triumphs, finding solace in each other's company and shared purpose. As I look back on my life, I can't help but feel a sense of gratitude for the opportunities one has been given. From the streets of Cleveland to the pinnacle of the oil industry and the heights of philanthropy, each step has been a stepping stone towards a life well lived. But a life well lived is not without its share of challenges and setbacks. I have faced criticism and scrutiny throughout my journey, and not everyone has understood or appreciated my vision. Yet, I have always remained steadfast in my commitment to my principles and to the belief that giving back is the true measure of success. In the twilight of my life, I am reminded of the words of poet Alfred Lord Tennyson, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. I have strived to make a difference, to seek solutions to complex problems, to find ways to uplift and empower others, and to never yield in my pursuit of creating positive change. As I prepare to pass the torch to future generations, I hope that my legacy will serve as a guiding light. I hope that it will inspire others to use their wealth, influence, and talents for the betterment of humanity. A life well lived is not just about what one accomplishes for oneself, but about the impact one has on the lives of others. As the final pages of my life story are written, I feel a sense of contentment and fulfillment. I have lived a life driven by purpose and a burning desire to make a positive impact on the world. My journey has been one of transformation and growth, and I am proud of the legacy I leave behind. To those who follow in my footsteps, I offer this advice: be driven by a sense of purpose and passion. Use your wealth and influence to create positive change. Embrace challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth. And above all, cherish every moment, for life is a precious gift that should be lived with intention and meaning. My transformative journey has taught me that a life well lived is not about the wealth we accumulate or the power we wield, but about the impact we leave on the world and the legacy we create for future generations. As I bid farewell to this world, I am filled with gratitude for the opportunity to have lived a life guided by purpose and driven by a desire to make a difference. Chapter 8: A Life Well Lived is a chapter of reflection and fulfillment. It is a reminder that the true measure of success lies not in what one accomplishes for oneself, but in the impact one leaves on the lives of others. As I prepare to close this chapter of my life, I am filled with a profound sense of contentment, knowing that my journey has been one of purpose and transformation. Epilogue: A continuation of the Rockefeller spirit. As I bid farewell to this world, I know that my journey does not end here. The spirit of Rockefeller, the spirit of ambition, transformation, and philanthropy, will continue to live on in the hearts and minds of those who are inspired by my story. My legacy is not just a story of one man's life, but a call to action for future generations to continue the work of making the world a better place. The Rockefeller Foundation and the Cleveland Foundation will continue to be beacons of hope, driving positive change and addressing the most pressing issues of our time. They will be guided by the same principles that have guided me throughout my life, to use wealth and influence for the betterment of humanity and to tackle challenges with innovation and compassion. My family and descendants, too, will carry on the Rockefeller spirit. They have been instilled with the values of philanthropy and service, and I trust that they will use their resources and influence to continue the legacy of giving back. I have always believed that true wealth is not just about money, but about the impact one can create in the lives of others. The world will continue to evolve, and with it, the challenges we face will change. But the spirit of Rockefeller will remain constant, an unwavering commitment to making a positive impact, no matter the circumstances. It is my hope that future generations will carry this spirit forward and find new ways to address the ever-changing needs of society. To those who are inspired by my story, I offer this advice: do not be afraid to dream big and aim high. Embrace challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. And above all, let the values of compassion, integrity, and philanthropy guide your actions and decisions. As you continue the Rockefeller spirit, remember that philanthropy is not just about giving money, but about giving time, talent, and heart. It is about finding ways to uplift and empower others, to support initiatives that create lasting change, and to leave a positive impact on the world. In the years to come, new challenges and opportunities will arise, and the world will need bold visionaries and leaders to step forward. I hope that my story will serve as a reminder that one person can make a difference, and that when we come together with a shared purpose, we can achieve great things. The spirit of Rockefeller is not confined to any one person or time. It is a timeless legacy that transcends generations. It is a legacy of giving, of compassion, and of striving for a better world. It is a legacy that belongs not just to me, but to all those who choose to carry it forward. As I leave this world, I do so with a profound sense of gratitude and fulfillment. My journey has been one of purpose and transformation, and I am grateful for the opportunities one have had to make a positive impact on the lives of others. To those who have been a part of my journey, whether as family, friends, colleagues, or beneficiaries of philanthropy, I thank you for being a part of this incredible story. Each of you has played a role in shaping the legacy of Rockefeller, and I am humbled by the impact we have made together. As the final chapter of my life comes to a close, I entrust the continuation of the Rockefeller spirit to all those who have been touched by my story. Let it be a guiding light in times of darkness, a source of inspiration and hope, and a reminder that together, we can create a better world. The spirit of Rockefeller lives on, not just in the pages of history, but in the hearts of those who choose to embrace it. May it be a beacon of hope, a force for good, and a reminder of the power we each hold to make a difference in the world. Epilogue, a continuation of the Rockefeller spirit, is a call to action for future generations to carry on the legacy of giving back and making a positive impact on the world. As the journey of John D. Rockefeller Sr. comes to a close, his story serves as an inspiration for others to continue the spirit of philanthropy and transformation, creating a legacy that transcends time and leaves a lasting mark on humanity. If you enjoyed this inspiring story of John D. Rockefeller's transformative journey, remember to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to support more captivating content like this. Your support means the world to us, and subscribing ensures you won't miss any of our future stories and adventures. Thank you for being a part of our community, and we can't wait to share more incredible tales with you.